So we've talked a lot about our patterns and energy around love, and we talked about healthy love, unhealthy love, and brought it to healthy truth, right? Let's move that into, let me just back this. I feel like people, more than anything, want to be seen, heard, validated, and they want love. They want that human connection. But what people also want, we can't deny it, is wealth. And people want money. They want wealth. They want abundance. For a lot of different reasons, right? Some are wanting to do charity work. They need to amass a lot of wealth, fundraising for charitable contribution. Some just want the fast cars, the big houses, the pool, parties, all of that. Some chase wealth out of fear of not having enough, not being able to provide and feed their families. There's a multitude of, it is so across the board. So sometimes people say, oh, what about wealth? Oh, great, let's manifest abundance. And now I'm going to go reach out to the CEO soul activator here, and I'm going to get rich. But let's really get to the meat and potatoes of what wealth is. Where are the blocks with people and wealth? Because you have been so blessed to have the opportunity to work with some incredible high-performing personalities that have amassed big wealth. Let's cover it all. I want to know why some people who amass great wealth, and it sounds cliche, don't have peace.
This is such a good topic. Coming from pattern recall, because I have thousands, it's just very visual. And what's fascinating is we have to keep going back to energy, right? So let's look at money for what it is. Money is energy, which is currency, right? It's a current, right? So how we expect a current of energy is very associated with our value and our worth, our inner worth. Now you took it very well, which is some are just driving only on that current to see if that'll create their inner value and worth. Some can't get it because of their inner value and worth. It's the same feeling of energy, okay? And so I'm all about money. Like, well, yeah, let's make money, but not money to the sense of that's going to value me. I want to make money so I can teach more people and give more of my support and travel around the world and give my work around the world. And you know what I mean? So the money doesn't have this value to me of that's who I am. It just gives me a vehicle to do more of being the lighthouse. So we have sort of a distorted version of currency, of what that current is to us. The current that comes out of us is always, again, for a reason. Now, let's take it simplified down to mixing in your soul's chart, your blueprint, as well as the energy that it holds for each human. Because you said it well, which is we all have different reasons why we're going after money. Even though, Carrie, at the end of the day, there is enough money on this planet for every human to be a millionaire multi times over, and there would still be a surplus. Like, that's the joke of money, right? So if you're looking at paper money, you're looking at it from the wrong way. So when you look at money, you have to look at it as a current of receiving. Okay. Now go to the mother wound. Your mother is typically how you associate money, which is the craziest part, right? So when I go look at someone's chart, I'm like, oh, that's how they want to or know how to receive. Now go to the first part of your life. How did you receive milk? How did you receive nurturing? You had to receive, and that was your form of receiving. Did you have to beg for it? Was it hard to get? Was love, energy, the current of filling you up as a child, a baby, an infant? Was it a positive experience or was it a negative experience? So you start there, and typically what the mother energy is within us that we came to learn, because that's one of those mastery points, is where that money frequency can get changed, and how you receive your current of receiving is no different than the current of like giving. But most people have learned you got to give to mom, you got to help mommy, there was this weird transfer of energy from childhood. So you can look at the way people make money. I can, right? You'll look at how they make money, or what the role money holds for them is typically a role that held for them with their mother. So how they use their money, how they spend their money, and how they receive their money, they look at as physical money, that they have to create it that way. But they then, if I take the money away, I go, how did you receive currency and energy and nurturing? Like, take it to an emotional currency, right? So that value and worth, how did you give it and how did you use it? How was it spent? It's always connected to this current of money. We want money, but we're like, why can't I get it? Because you don't have a good current coming in. Because you're so afraid that something's going to happen or what you have to do, or I don't want to spend it. You see hoarders. Well, holding on to it is worse than overspending it, right? No different, because if you hold on to it, there's no way for the cycle to keep bringing you more. So this whole thing always will go back to, how did you experience money and or receiving nurturing and love from your mother is typically how we play out money. Right? My mom was a big saver and she was very good at penny pinching and moving money and making money where there wasn't money, and then she was very successful, but she always had that mindset. So I was always like a real miser personality. My husband's like, what is wrong with you? And he makes a joke out of this, because we were at the grocery store buying chips for a party or whatever. And he got all these chips. I'm like, no, get these. These are like $1 less. And he's like, you can afford an extra $1. And I was like, wow. Yes, the ability to just receive the chips I wanted, as opposed to the chips that my nervous system was hoard, lock up, keep it.
Oh, I think a lot of people can relate to
this. A lot of people do, right?
And let's talk about, I'm sure I'm positive of it, because we're also, at the time of us recording this, at all-time credit card debt in this nation.
Right.
So let's talk about, in terms of credit card debt, we've got auto loans that are going belly up, and loans that are, higher than the valuation of vehicles. And what's happening with that? Like, how somebody listens to this who might be in massive, wanting wealth, but on the contrary might be in some debts, thinking of, okay, something's got to give here.
So the debt,
is not working. Maybe it's something in myself that I can shift.
Yeah. You just have to shift the fact that you feel empty of emotional and energetic currency. You don't feel like you deserve it. You're going to sabotage your money just enough so you can make sure you can say, see, the current won't come in. I am not bringing a currency of abundance and fulfilled, filled up. Give me the milk, mom. Give me the money. Give me the currency, right? So the debt really has nothing to do with that. When we acknowledge that, we're like, oh, do you know how many people actually are out there that can help you get out of debt? And how many new tax strategists are out there going, oh, we could write that up. There's so many opportunities to flip it in a day, but we're so stuck on what we don't have. And why? Because it's that emotional currency. That current, how well do you receive? Typically receiving is much more challenging than giving.
And I'm sure you can look at somebody's chart and identify why
it sits, well, wherever the moon sits, that's where we start to interpret how we receive, right? A lot of people are like, if I don't do, I won't receive. Instead of, could you just sit there and learn how to receive help first? First, work on help, letting someone help you. That's a currency. That's an energy filling you up. And then can you learn how to take time out for yourself without functioning and overdoing, and you got to do something to be able to receive help. Like, there's all these little forms of currency of receiving that actually shift your frequency, and then the frequency shifts to the money, because the money is just, it's not real. It's digital. It's not even a real thing anymore. Like you said, credit card. It's not real. It's just a piece of plastic that told you got this.
And that's something
crazy, right? Energy.
How it makes us feel, right? How it makes us.
And we're looking for that feeling so we can remind ourselves, when we were little, we were starving to receive.
So that just led me into this thought about people who find themselves on the opposite spectrum, right? So maybe a big equity event at a company. There might have been an employee that went at an organization that went public, and suddenly there's this big wealth that's found. Or there was a sale of a business, or there was a lottery winning, or there was a big inheritance, there was a trust fund,
or like
so
a lottery.
There's a windfall,
got it.
right? And why is it? They've done documentaries on people who win the lottery and then they go broke.
That's it.
Or you have celebrities or athletes, people who are in the realm of big money contracts, and they end up bankrupt. What's going on there?
That's exactly what I just shared with you. If you don't know how to receive, you won't know how to keep it. And if you don't know how to receive, this give and receive, right? We're on a cycle, right? Like what goes out must come back in. That's the ocean tide. That's the earth, right? The snow comes, the sun comes, those spring and summer come. We're in cycles, right? So there's a time for spending and then there's a time for receiving. The challenge is that they've never learned how to receive. If they weren't receiving before that, just because they got all this, they'll spend, sabotage it because they don't know how to receive and keep until you know who you are, right? Until you know how you receive, right? Because your money, how you make money in your chart is all over that moon sign. How you receive money is really in the 11th house, not just the second house of money. But people go, oh, that's my money house. No. That's how you get paid. But how you stand in the 11th house is how you receive, right? In the masses, in the public. So we have all these different characteristics, but the moon is your baggage and will block you from receiving in any house. And you take that all the way down to relationships, why they are going to trigger you in health and wealth in every category, because they make you wake up to this little wound saying, I don't know how to receive. Well, if you can't receive money, do you think you're going to receive nurturing and love from a person? Or if you're so hoarding on money and you can't let go of it, do you think you're going to be able to share with a person? Does that make sense? And you're not doing it, like you said earlier, it's subconscious, right? It's not like I'm going to consciously hurt this person.
Right.
I love this person. Why am I doing this? Mama. Yeah. And it's not mom's fault either. I'm just giving you, the mom you chose was to learn this lesson of give and receive.
Well, and what's so interesting about that too is you might think, for someone who's not in financial straits, like they're actually doing really well. And their white necklace, they might think that's responsible, right?
They do.
Some people are raised with save for a rainy day. You don't know when the shoe's gonna drop, and so there's probably something going on there too.
For sure.
Fear-based of worst case scenario.
It's so true.
Being able to then go into those charts. If somebody dives into the work that you've created and given all these tools, all of these resources, you've even written books. We haven't even talked about the books that you've written. I mean, you've done it all on this. What can someone expect will shift in their life around wealth when they dive into this work?
I know this sounds maybe cliche and but you have to want it. You have to want to see the fact that you are a soul with an energetic map, and you have to want to go, I came here to master some bullshit that I don't like in my life, and I want to see it so clearly so that I can literally pick a life that I deserve and not try to sell everybody this pattern performance that I'm showing up as. And it's not a negative, but you have to want to see you and get to know you and truly understand, oh my God, I get me. I never got, this is all I do for a living, right? But I never got that I had a block in self-expression. And so I held back on these bigger programs until just the last 2 years, because I was like, I'm so much easier to do one-on-one. Well, yeah, until I'm sucked the energy out, because there's just not enough hours. And I had to see it you need to express to more people, more, like you were saying, more people want this. And I was like, okay, right. But it was me causing that receiving ability to get in that space. We don't realize we're the only ones who can see it. I can tell you how awesome you are. I have all these amazing clients who have shitloads of money, very successful, don't ever have to maybe work another day in their life, and they're sitting with me miserable, and I'm like, does this not ring a bell to you? Are you not waking up to this? Is your soul just asking you for attention on this one little thing? But the world has made it so, what's wrong with you? Therapy, you're bad. And I'm like, that's total bullshit. So whether it's money or any other version, hoarding it, giving it, spending it. You've got a version of it. And if you're going to do the work, you actually have to want to see it. It's kind of why I set up Soul Masters, right? Because if you're going to go through all these 12 categories, you have to do it on paper, print the paper, write the blind spots down on your journal, and then write, I've got to do this power move. Like that power move is going to go against all your nervous system that says, danger, danger, danger. No, well, no, we want to sabotage. We want to sabotage our money, spend it, whatever it is, like on the money front. Instead of, oh, wow, I really got to see this. I got to see myself. So that way, when the storm shows up to your lighthouse, you're not throwing a fit that it's storming, or it's a lightning storm, it's a hailstorm, it's a snowstorm. You don't care. So that's kind of what hit me recently. It's like, I just don't care anymore what storms are going on because I'm pretty okay with me. I know who I am. I know where I'll trip up, but I can recover faster. That's the whole goal.
Well, and I will chime in and say, my experience in working with you in the wealth department has also afforded me the opportunity to realize that wealth comes in different forms outside of money. For example, time, but quality time. And where am I spending that energy? So being wealthy in time is really important to me.
Me too.
Being wealthy in having a life by design, not default, has really, money matters in all of this, right? But when is enough enough? Where do you draw the line in the sand? Because we also, I believe, as a society, have a false sense of what wealth is in terms of monetary, right? For someone, they could say, if I had $10,000 today, it would be life-changing. It might be $100,000. For some, it'll be, I want to be in the millions, and some might be billionaire status. But it's finding the truth of what works for you. What is your truth? Because I like to say, this is me, not you. There's no U-Haul to heaven. There's no safety box there. So at some point, and some people want to have legacy wealth, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But are you selling your soul to, the hustle grind culture for a legacy that no one's going to even remember your name 20 years after you're gone?
I think the bigger question is that we have to start looking at is, you're like, when does enough, right? When things stop bringing you peace. And typically they will bring you peace for a little while. Like, oh my God, I got to go on this trip to, the Caribbean. It was beautiful and I could afford it and it was wonderful and it brought you, I'd be at peace on the beach too with my toes in the water, right? So the point is then when you start getting to the point where you're like, okay, I made it, I did it. And you're still not feeling at peace in your soul and here's the big one, of being your truthful self. When you can't speak your truth to someone and not feel guilty about it. When you can't express who you are and not feel shame about it. When you can start being you, the money probably, if you're good at making money, will quadruple at that point and you won't care. The love will quadruple. And you'll just be grateful for it when you have it. You're not going to be like in scarcity of it. That's the mother currency, right? So we don't realize is that mastering you. So this is what's fascinating. Like, I'm not a big fan of religion. Everybody has their version. It's not a fan. I just left the box a long time ago, realizing that we all have different names for the same place, which is love. Okay? Yes. It's just a different name. Different frequency, doesn't matter. And so at the end of the day, we'll just use Jesus, right? And he is the S-U-N, of God standing in the center. And he mastered all these 12 categories of his life. He was a carpenter and he was a healer. I mean, he was a Reiki master before there were even Reiki masters. He was born at the wrong time, right? We got a lot of them now, right? But he didn't have to touch you, but he could heal you. Well, Reiki masters do the same thing. Like he was a master at energy. He was a master at teaching, here's how to fish so you can feed your family. He mastered all 12 categories. So why do we call him an ascended master? Because he mastered God's light and said, the kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Not out there, not from a man, not from a protocol, not from a system. And so my protocols and classes are more about, I don't really care how you do it, just do it and master you. there's no system that's going to work. There's only here's a way for you to get to know you privately and or in my mastermind and or my events. But the bigger piece is that we're so into money from that's gonna make me feel.
There you go.
And then you don't feel better. And then you're like, what's wrong with me? Nothing. You're perfect. You just gotta go look at here.
Yeah.
Right? And so I guess it just seems so simplified to people. And I'm like, but it is. We just don't like it because but the world told me and I learned this. And because of that, and my answer is I know, but your chart says it would be a lot more peaceful if you were just this. If you were just picking you and living your truth and not being afraid of it, not guilting, not abandoning yourself. That's a big one. We abandon ourselves to people please and fix it for everybody else. And then we're like, they abandoned me. And I'm like, they kind of didn't abandon you. You abandoned you, right? So it's always the reflection of energy. And money is the biggest currency where we can look at how we check in with our worth of receiving and giving.